So I was taught to love first and to take less and to give with all my heart since I was very little. My parents, they, they fought for civil rights and they teach civil rights, and they continue to help families and, are always giving of themselves for others. I started studying science a lot, and I studied physics and transpersonal psychology. And the more I learned, the more God was revealed to me through science and through psychology, in-depth psychology and analysis. And it was, unequivocally, there was God from everything that I was learning. And then to round that out, I had children. And that blew my mind, and I thought, oh, if I didn't believe that there was God before, like, how could I be given the gift of my two children? I did nothing. I had done nothing. Like, we did something, but we really had done nothing. and these two children grew, and okay, so I knew at that point I needed to really figure out how to give back and to thank and to worship God, who I knew existed. And so I kept asking for guidance. Like, I really didn't know how to do that, but I just kept thinking about, like, I need to find a way to give back or to say thank you. And so I was with my children 2 years later. I kept asking, and 2 years later, I met Lisa Chifakoyo at the park with her daughter, Hope, and our daughters are the same age. So, I spoke with her briefly, as much as two moms can really talk to each other as they're chasing after their children. And she had mentioned that that her husband was a pastor there and at Covenant. And it wasn't even like a big part of our conversation at all. And then we went our separate ways. I kept hearing about Covenant. People kept telling me, because I was talking to Jackie Cavalier, sorry to call you out, Jackie, who is a teenager, and she was in my wedding, and I've known her since she was born, and she was talking about something, and then she said she was going to church, and I was like, what? You go to church? Like, it was so random. So she explained it was Covenant Church, and so that's why I asked them to go with me, or asked them to take me, and they, of course, lovingly took me. And ever since then, I feel very compelled to come back, and it's here at Covenant that I learned, listening to Bob's sermons, there's this authenticity, this integrity and precision in his sermons that make God's words so digestible. Learning about the crucifixion and the resurrection here, it continues to level my ego and confront my ego and grow my compassion on a daily basis. And there's this thing that happens, I guess, or is happening with me constantly of it's just this incomprehensible sense of well-being and joy. And I come from a long line of very, in quotes, rational thinkers. My dad studied philosophy. You don't have, incomprehensible doesn't sit well with my family. And for me now, incomprehensible is amazing. It's so joyful and peaceful, and where I'm most comfortable now in Christ.